Hey, this is Daphne and Real Talk with Daphne, coming to you from the spare bedroom, also known as the dressing room and shoe room, and there's even some books in here. It used to be my daughter's room, but she moved back to Illinois. So I wanted to take a moment to review the movie The Professor and the Madman, which is from 2019 and stars Mel Gibson and Sean Penn. I watched this movie last night via a Zoom movie viewing with my friend John, my good friend John. He and I really like movies and various series, and we like talking about books and chess, and he's a chess master. So we try to get together and watch and discuss a movie via Zoom about once a month-ish, and we sort of take turns choosing the movie. And John chose this movie, which he had seen before, but it was my first time viewing it last night. And you know, I'll have to say, number one, the geekiness was not lost on me that I was spending a Saturday night watching a movie about the creation of the Oxford Dictionary with one of my best friends who also happens to be a chess master. It was like the height of geekdom, and I loved every minute of it. I used to want to be a writer, and I find words in general and the English language fascinating. I have favorite words, like hyacinth, halcyon, and ephemeral and ethereal, words that I just really love to read and really love to hear. So I have, in general, a love of words. So this story really resonated with me. And the fact that it is based on a true story, Dr. Murray did indeed help create the first versions of the Oxford Dictionary. So everything, well, there's probably dramatic license taken in the movie, but for the most part, it was definitely based on a true story. So it is the story of John Murray, who is not a traditionally educated man. He's an autodidact, so self-taught man who just happens to love words in the English language. We didn't get a lot about his background of why it was his dream to help create the dictionary, unless I missed something. We didn't really get a lot of that, but we definitely saw that as someone who was not educated in the traditional manner, because back in the day when this movie is set, education, particularly higher education, was mostly limited to the upper classes, and Dr. Murray was not one of the upper classes. In fact, his doctor title was given to him later as like an honorary doctorate degree by the learned men of Oxford, who, after some trepidation, agreed to let him take the helm of this huge project because they had been unable to come up with a workable dictionary on their own, and working with other traditionally educated professors, they hadn't been able to do it. So they decided to give John Murray a try. And the story is just really about tenacity and dreams and aspirations, all of which I love, and with a little bit of a love story thrown in there as well. I think both Sean Penn and Mel Gibson did excellent work. They are two actors that I have learned to love and appreciate more as they've gotten older. I wasn't a big fan of Sean Penn back when he played like Richard Spicoli in Fast Times at Ridgemont High and was like dating Madonna and in the tabloids every other week, of course. And I wasn't a big Mel Gibson fan when the Lethal Weapon franchise was out and he was supposedly a sex symbol. But now I think they are both phenomenal actors, and I've loved past things that they've done as well. Even the directing side. I think Mel Gibson directed Apocalypto, which is one of my favorite all-time movies, and Sean Penn starred in and also directed or produced Mystic River, which is another favorite of mine. And I really feel like they're such accomplished actors that they can convey so much with just a look. They don't rely on dialogue to express what they're feeling or thinking, especially Mel Gibson with those bright blue eyes, even though now he's no longer handsome and very sort of craggly in the face. I think they're both heavy smokers, and it definitely shows because they look their age and then some, very craggly and wrinkled, but they both have very emotive eyes, especially Mel Gibson's like bright blue eyes. It's just such emotion. You see, you know, pain, anguish, desire. You see it all in just a look. And to me, that's the hallmark of a great actor. Overall, great story. I believe it's a little bit over 2 hours, so a little bit lengthy, but it doesn't feel long at all. The story is riveting, and it really snares you. And I felt like I was very empathetic to the main character, Murray, from the very beginning. And then there's another, I don't want to give too much away, but there's another storyline involving a woman, and then the doctor who's the madman and currently locked up in an insane asylum for a crime, who decides to help Murray to create the dictionary and to gather all of the words that are needed. Words, colloquialisms, sayings, they want everything. And I can't imagine what a daunting task it was to create the dictionary. And I'm assuming it was probably similar in America when Merriam-Webster created the dictionary, but I believe that Oxford was probably one of the first official like English language dictionaries. So I think that's why this is such a riveting, interesting story to me. Any downsides? Again, just the not fleshing out Murray's background as to why he fell in love with words. I mean, I got that because of how he was born, and he's Scottish and he's uneducated, that he had this desire to make a difference and maybe a desire for a little bit of glory despite his station in life. But I wanted a little bit more. I mean, to undertake something like that, I feel like you have to have a lot of passion, and there should have been more exploration of his background and what actually drove him to that point where he would say, hey, I'll do the dictionary, knowing what a huge task it was. The women characters, Dr. Murray's wife, and then also a Mrs. Merritt, who figured prominently in the story, especially with her relation with Dr. Minor, who was the madman in the insane asylum, was superb as well. There is a little bit of a depressing element to things, and things definitely don't necessarily wrap up neatly and cleanly and happily ever after, like most Hollywood movies. But again, it's based on a true story, so we want it to stay true to the actual story, so that's perfectly fine. The superb acting all around. I can't remember if there were any nominations for The Professor and the Madman. That came out in 2019, so I can't remember. During the 2020 Oscars, I was focused on the Best Picture nominees, and that was not one of them. And then soon after the Oscars last year, COVID hit, and then everything just sort of hit the fan. So I'm not really sure what nominations that it received. So sorry, I didn't do my research today on that. But I really enjoyed the movie. John did as well. We had a pretty extensive discussion of the movie afterwards, and we both really enjoyed the overall theme, the academia pieces, and the wordplay between the two main characters, and their knowledge of words. They were definitely wordsmiths, if you will, but also the dual themes of friendship and redemption and love. It was just an all-around great movie. I think it has a little something for everyone. You know, if you're a historical piece buff, it has something for you. If you like a little bit of romance, it has something for you. If you're a little bit of an academic snob, it has something for you. I think that it has something for everyone. And on a scale of 0 to 5, I give it 5 stars. I thought it was very, very good, and you guys should check it out. Feel free to leave your own comments and reviews in the comment section. Until next time, this has been Real Talk, REEL, with Daphne. See you guys later.